Well, wouldn't you think about it? I promised myself that I wasn't going to be doing any videos this weekend. I was thinking of taking a hiatus, but Watch Mojo, and I don't really see much of their videos, has decided to put out a bunch of Black Widow videos, and to my surprise, there's five of them. So the best I could do is just react to them, you know, make the cut, then put the title, edit it, upload it on YouTube, and react to the next one as I go along. Like I got like 12 videos to react to, but I'm just gonna focus on the Black Widow ones. And I do know that I think next week there's gonna be a trailer for Fear Street Part 3 1666. I at least think because they did one, and I've already seen Fear Street, and I already reviewed do a spoiler review on Part 2. My video is almost an hour long, as I predicted for that one. But yeah, after such a long delay, after numerous delays, Black Widow has finally come out. Didn't think it was possible, but it's that moment where it's like, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. That's just kind of me. I actually played the songs that accurately describe how happy I feel that it's. There's the Ode to Joy, the Hallelujah. Not the Leonard, not the one that you know, not the one that goes like this, the fourth, the fifth. Not that, just the usual chorus of the spiritual awakening, and then uh. Cool in the Gang Celebration is like celebrate good times, come on. And for some reason, Friday I'm in Love by The Cure. I don't know, because I think yesterday, right after I saw the movie, and I was going to review it, but then during the afternoon, ah man, I had felt so bad during the afternoon. I also had to go run some errands after I saw the movie, and I reviewed the movie before I ran some errands. But needless to say, I'm fine, and it's something that happened. It's nothing regarding this movie. Same way I felt about after I saw the Snyder Cut, and way before I reviewed, is that after it, I just had a weird feeling. Don't know what it was. A little weird tingle. I don't know. But the point is, the film has finally come out. I cannot be all the more happier. Marvel has finally returned to the cinema. Has finally returned to cinema where it belongs. And don't get me wrong, I love the Marvel MCU Disney Plus shows like WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and now Loki. But I don't know, it's like just something about seeing a new MCU movie after 2 years. It's been so long. It's been so long. Marvel, never do that to us ever again. Please. You don't know. Of course, that's the same way I felt about after WandaVision, just after seeing something new, but it's like a new movie. That's the plural movie, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe started off as a film series, a film franchise that was an unsure thing at first, but then after more people saw Avengers and they're like, oh, this is actually a pretty good thing. And really good. I loved this movie. I enjoyed it. I think it hit me harder than I was expecting. And I did a review yesterday of it, and I did not like the way I reviewed it. I guess the best way I can sum it up is I love everything about it. Um, the film does certainly take risks at points, risks that will piss off certain fans of a certain character. And well, this is spoiler, so Taskmaster. But Taskmaster is like, well, I'm not a fan, but even that's a little ridiculous. I'm only disappointed for one reason, though, on that one. Most of it, the problems I veered with it were like, there's stuff I'm on the fence about. The only real problem is I feel like this film could have been better if it was set in between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, because it would take place a year after Infinity War. I know the snap would still be in effect, but there's still some population, I assume. Although from what I see, in Endgame, you see that good people like Clint's family got snapped, whereas bad people like the Yakuza that Clint Barton kills goes after, federales, those types of people, bad people, survive the snap, weirdly enough. Thanos made a miscalculation. Yeah. Fair to rich and poor like my ass. But I don't know. I just feel like it would have been better if it led in, and that way it would lead up to Natasha's sacrifice. I don't know. And do I wish we could have gotten this movie years ago? Oh, I got some food. I'll pause. I'll pause the recording right after, so I can go eat, and then I'll come back. But to sum it up, should we have gotten this movie years ago? Yes, but when you take into consideration the behind-the-scenes drama at Marvel Studios, I say better late than never. Hold on. I'm gonna mute the microphone here. I'm back. I had to get something to eat. Oh, but yeah. Essentially what I was saying is, I loved it. It's not in my top 5 MCU films. It's somewhere in the top 10 though. It is top 10 around there. Uh, I'd say probably in between Black Panther and Doctor Strange. The whole point with the MCU is I'm a huge fan of the MCU. It's practically my favorite film franchise ever. Um, you know, had to up the damn resolution. No, I shouldn't do that. Mm. But um, there's really I like most of the MCU films. The only ones I really did not care for were Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World. Those are the only two I don't like. And Spider-Man 3, I'm like, it's an on the fence movie. It's a film that I love and I hate at the same time. You know, I really don't like doing a lowest rated list because it's like, eh, thinking of that, I mean, I only really watch the MCU movies like once a year together, and then sometimes I'll watch them around like, sometimes, if it's in the middle of the month, I'll watch some of them separately on their own. But, yeah, let me just close the door here. My mom's talking on the phone. I don't really want her voice on here. But I did enjoy Black Widow. I'm glad it finally came out. It's been getting weird reviews though. It's like it's got 80 on Rotten Tomatoes audience, but 92 no, 80 critic, 92 audience. Metacritic 68 on Metacritic critic reviews, 6.8 user score. Although it'll go down to 6.9 and 7.1 on IMDb. Point is, I've really come to really disagree with lots of people over the years, but shall we? This is WatchMojo.com's top 10 best moments from Black Widow, and we've got a few things here. So let's see. Do we get no auto generated? I hate auto generated subtitles. Let's watch.
Put your seatbelts on. She's such a mom.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Yeah.
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Black Widow moments.
Natasha, don't
Don't
slouch.
slouch.
I'm not slouching.
Yes, you are. You're going to
I
get
don't
the,
slouch.
You're going to get the back hunch.
Listen to your mother.
Oh my god, this.
Great. Perfect timing. Where's an Avenger when you need one?
Top 10 best moments for Black Widow. I can now totally see it now. Black Widow, but only the scenes with Yelena Belova. I didn't know you could upload the whole. God. Yelena was like. And here's the thing, I love Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh really knocked it out of the park. She's like quickly becoming one of my new favorite actors to look out for. Like ever since Fighting with My Family, I gotta watch that again. It's been 2 years, but I remember vividly loving the movie. I thought, wow, that was real good. This Florence Pugh actress is really good. Of course, everyone only knows her from Midsummer, but people like me know her from Fighting with My Family and Midsummer. She's good in that. Though Midsummer wasn't my favorite. And the newest Little Women movie. I mean, I love Florence Pugh, and she knocked it out of the park as Yelena. Side note, I do know a little more about Yelena Belova than most people because I've actually read the comics. I've read the Richard K. Morgan run of Black Widow, the Marvel Knight run, as it's called as well. Like one of the best characters ever introduced was Yelena Belova, and and seeing Florence Pugh bring that role to justice, do play the role to perfection. Although nothing like the actual comic book counterpart, but I mean, every moment Florence Pugh is in this, I just want to, shake her. I just want to be friends with Florence Pugh. Although there's no way to do that because of a pandemic. Although if Florence Pugh's in town, it'd be like, want to get some appetizers? Yeah. Although I shouldn't do that. Uh, I'm just saying, I love Florence Pugh. Like, this is going to be a whole appreciation thread for Florence Pugh. Not unlike Reddit, which is just a. I'm not telling you what I see on Reddit, alright? I've seen a lot of shit on Reddit that's not for the faint of heart. But, I love Florence Pugh as an actress. She is so great and also really funny. Yeah, I just love Florence Pugh. Stole the show. It's like, oh shit.
This would be a cool way to die.
For this list, we're looking at the most dramatic, humorous, and action-packed scenes from Natasha Romanoff's long-awaited solo movie.
Natasha Romanoff and Yelena's Beloved. Technically, this film is less of a Natasha movie, less of a movie centered on Nad, but oh my, I gotta shut up.
As you may have guessed, there will be spoilers.
Spoilers.
What did you think of Black Widow? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Nat on the Run. Scarlett Johansson's first major scene sets an appropriate tone for the film, finding a balance between the MCU and the Bourne franchise, picking up where Captain America...
A balance between MCU and Tony Scott. I hate correcting people on that, because Tony Scott is one of my favorite filmmakers, and it's sad that he's no longer with us. I hate looking back. One thing I hate about is looking back at critics or anyone in general saying, oh, I don't like Tony Scott. He's like Michael Bay. Here's the thing. Unlike Michael Bay, Tony Scott actually gives us characters we care about. Oh, damn, I left the lights on. I don't know why. Hold on. Yeah, I'll be back. I just gotta mute the volume. I'm not pausing the video. Sorry about that long-awaited pause there. Plus, there's a damn owl here somewhere. Yeah, point is, I was talking about Tony Scott. Point is, because the opening credits, which are amazing opening credits, reminded me a lot of the opening credits for Man on Fire. And just like the first 30 minutes, like they use a lot of longer lenses, longer focal lengths, to kind of like it reminded me a lot of Tony Scott. So yeah.
Civil War left off. Natasha
But I understand why Bourne is more popular with it. Bourne utilizes more of that stuff, but yeah, I understand why. It's more easier to say that than saying Tony Scott because people depending on who you ask. But no, Tony Scott is a visionary filmmaker. Well, was. He's no longer with us.
finds herself on the run with Thaddeus Ross in hot pursuit.
Charlotte told Ross what you did, so they're coming for you.
Talking with Nat on the phone, Ross is ready to negotiate her surrender as his forces storm a building. In typical Black Widow fashion, Nat is 10 steps ahead of Ross.
Yeah.
You got no friends. Where are you gonna go?
I've lived a lot of lives before I met you, Ross.
As the authorities break through a door to find nobody, it's revealed that Nat is already on a boat, disappearing off the grid. For newcomers, this twist establishes Nat's resourcefulness. For longtime MCU fans, we feel Nat's pain as she leaves her broken Avenger family behind, starting over once again.
Did you get everything on my list?
You got passports, entry visas, a couple of local driver's licenses. Mix and match, you should be able to stretch it to 20 or so identities.
Number 9. Getting the Avengers back together. Although the film opens with Nat running away from one family, she soon reconnects with another. Nat never expected to mend the bond she once shared with her childhood family.
Family. Back together again.
If her sister, father, and mother figures could all reconcile, though, perhaps there's hope for Team Cap and Team Iron Man.
Besides, if it can work out with the four of us, there may be some hope for the Avengers.
Johansson's last scene takes place shortly before the events of Avengers Infinity War,
I'm gonna miss
which
Rose
we can
Ransom as
tell
Nat.
from the blonde hairdo.
I think for like 10 years. 10 years to play a character like that is like, that's a legacy. Like playing a fan favorite character. And wow, I mean, just like ever since Iron Man 2, and then just moving on, makes me sad that we'll never, but hey, who knows? I don't know for sure what they're gonna do. I mean, let's just watch.
Bidding farewell to Rick Mason, Nat is cautiously optimistic about healing her other family.
It's funny, my whole life I didn't think I had any family. Turns out I got two.
It's bittersweet knowing what's on the horizon, but the moment also adds layers to Nat's eventual sacrifice. As Black Widow walks off and fireflies illuminate, it's hard not to think about the lyrics from a certain Owl City song.
To 10 million fireflies.
Oh,
I'm weird 'cause I hate goodbyes.
Number 8. Black Widow versus Taskmaster. Nat's past catches up to her in the form of a vehicle accident on a bridge. While Nat naturally survives the crash, this is only the beginning of her problems. Nat is confronted by Taskmaster, a silent but deadly masked figure who can fire an arrow with Hawkeye's precision and throw a shield with Captain America's might. When it comes to hand-to-hand combat, Black Widow is still a force to be reckoned with. However, she meets her match in Taskmaster, who can mimic her every move. Nat just might have been in serious trouble if Taskmaster didn't shift targets, giving her a window of opportunity. While the film admittedly could have used more Taskmaster, this well-choreographed sequence at least delivered on the antagonist's potential.
Oh, damn it. Okay. I'm very sorry. Let me just pause here for a second. Ah, that was quick. Alright.
Number 7.
Damn, I hate it when there's a flash in my life.
Number 7. The Day the Music Died.
Oh,
For a brief period in her childhood, Nat lived a normal life in Ohio with a fake family that might have been more real than she thought.
Both upside down. And I bet you're gonna fall down first.
Also, weirdly enough, the actress who's playing young Natasha happens to surprisingly be enough Mila Jovovich's the daughter of Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich, Ever Anderson, who's essentially playing the new Wendy in the new who's going to be Wendy in the new Peter Pan and Wendy film. So that's interesting to see. You know, did a good job with this. Nat wasn't always a redhead, it looks like. It looks more like brunette than redhead. I don't know.
No, you will.
It's all fireflies, scraped knees, and DuckTales until Daddy comes home one night.
Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Woo! Tales of daring, new, bad, and good luck tales. I'm sorry, they said DuckTales. I just had to do the DuckTales theme.
Saying that the time has finally come to flee. Don McLean's American Pie is effectively utilized as Nat says goodbye.
Interestingly enough, that was the same song that was used at the, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of episode 4 of Stranger Things season 3. It's when Billy is I have not seen Stranger Things season 3 in a while. It's been 2 years since I've seen Stranger Things because I usually just watch it when there's a new season. Although I did see season 1 twice. But yeah, I remember they played that song, and when they played it twice in this, God, I love that song.
Goodbye to the U.S. and the best days of her young life.
I want my song.
It's like, bye, Miss American Pie.
It also foreshadows the family's plane problems as they're ambushed by the authorities mid-takeoff. With Melina shot, Yelena frightened, and Alexei hanging on the wing for dear life, Nat is forced to take control. Getting the plane off the ground, Nat saves her family, but she can only keep them together for so long.
What you can do it! Pull back all your strength!
Number 6. Sister Reunion.
Oh,
While
yeah.
Black Widow gives Johansson a chance to shine like never before, Florence Pugh arguably steals the show as Yelena.
That's what I just. That's what I said. Oh man, everyone's just in agreement. Even people who don't like this movie have said that Florence Pugh is the best part of it.
Belova.
Why are you skulking about like it's a minefield?
Because I don't know if I can trust you.
Funny, I was going to say the same thing.
So we're gonna talk like grown-ups?
Raised as sisters, Nat and Yelena are reunited in Budapest. Nat doesn't receive the warmest welcome as she exchanges punches, kicks, and one-liners with her sis. Again, it's a scene that wouldn't look out of place in the best Bourne movies. After calling a truce, the two make their getaway when a team of Black Widows storms the
Oh yeah, it looked a lot like Bourne Identity to me. Now that I remember it.
hideout.
Also, the score from Lauren Balfe is really awesome. Like hiring the composer for Mission Impossible Fallout to do this is interesting because Lauren Balfe actually was one of the additional composers for the first Iron Man movie, which was scored by Ramin Djawadi, who's now returning to score Eternals, which is amazing. I love Ramin Djawadi.
Thus ensues an intense chase that makes impeccable use of its surroundings and a variety of vehicles. Taskmaster also breaks out the explosive arrows and shield, but the sisters live to fight and pose another day.
Another day. Yeah, they should.
Number 5. Taskmaster Unmasked.
Okay, this is the weirdest. I will say I'm a little mixed on the Taskmaster thing, because, I mean, we do get a little bit. I feel like the thing is, this film really is meant to be more of a, kind of Nat patching up things movie. So when you look at it that way, I don't really think trying to figure out who the main villain is necessary. I'm not a huge Taskmaster fan, but I'm a little mixed on it. Especially, here's the thing, I'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Remember the photostatic veil from The Winter Soldier?
And they referenced it again in this movie. That was a big twist. I was like, oh. That was a good one. That was a really cool scene with Scarlett Johansson and Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz, another actress who I really enjoy, also did a good job in this film.
Sorry.
Did I step on your moment?
We're not sure why Nat doesn't use that more often, but it comes in handy once again here. After Melina seemingly betrays the family, they're taken to the Red Room up in the air. Turns out that Melina actually betrayed Dreykov, however. Having switched places, Melina helps Alexei and Yelena, while Nat confronts Dreykov face to face.
When you look into the eyes of a child you have raised, no mask in the world can hide that.
The most dramatic
Though, I will say, Ray Winstone, I really would have wanted to see more of Ray Winstone. Because I love Ray Winstone. He's such a good actor. Like, he's like in, Sexy Beast and The Departed. I feel like his direction for the scene. All right, Ray, I want you to do your best impression of a Russian James Gandolfini. Must be because I finished The Sopranos last month. I keep hearing the it sounds a lot like if James Gandolfini was alive. I'm pretty sure honestly he would just turn it down, but it would be awesome to see.
Masking is saved for Taskmaster, who is revealed to be Dreykov's daughter. Previously mentioned in The Avengers, Nat...
That was a good reference that they brought back into this, was Dreykov's daughter, because when I looked up that Ray Winstone was playing a character named Dreykov, I was like, oh, they're going to reference what Nat did to Dreykov's daughter. The bombing in Sao Paulo. If I'm not mistaken, it was in Sao Paulo.
Thought Dreykov's daughter died in an explosion she was responsible for.
Say hello.
I think this is... I mean, I didn't cancel out like most people, and it was only until the end credits, because I knew of Olga Kurylenko being in the movie. I was like, oh, I love Olga Kurylenko. She's a great actress. Also, really, really great, really beautiful. Although, I will say, she's really good here. I mean, I can now see it is Olga Kurylenko. I just feel like that's the only disappointment, is like, oh man, that we got less of Olga Kurylenko. And I think the thing is, Tyrone actually stated this in his review, is that in certain scenes you can tell that Taskmaster with the mask was actually played by many stuntmen, or maybe some stunt women. Both, male stunt actors. Let's say that. But yeah. So I was kind of scared of that, and I was like, oh, I did not expect. It was an interesting twist. So this twist will irritate fans, but when you consider Iron Man 3 and Spider-Man Far From Home, how they handled the twists, Black Widow succeeds better in the twist compared to those two films. Sorry, not retracting that.
While she did survive, being turned into her father's puppet is arguably a fate worse than death. Whether you predicted this twist or not, it is definitely a disturbing reveal. Number 4, Family Dinner. We come for the action, but it's the character dynamics that's made the MCU such a successful franchise. Black Widow is sprinkled with memorable dialogue throughout, although...
Also, letting filmmakers finally do what they want to do. Because that was a huge problem within Phase 1, and more importantly, Phase 2 of the MCU, was that at the time, Kevin Feige wasn't like the chief creative officer, or he wasn't the president of Marvel Studios. Who mostly run Marvel Entertainment was Ike Perlmutter, who he did not want movies like Black Panther or Captain Marvel or Black Widow to be made, because they thought, oh, they won't make enough money. Plus, Perlmutter ruined everything in Phase 2. Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World. And Perlmutter is the main reason why Edgar Wright left Ant-Man. And Kevin Feige was like, he was like, very... I think when you consider that Feige almost threatened to leave Marvel. But then I think Bob Iger and Alan Horn had made a deal. That was back when Bob Iger was still the chief executive officer at Disney. It was like, you should be able to do things you want. So we'll just make Marvel Studios its own separate thing. So they fired the Marvel Creative Committee and Perlmutter. They kind of booted them off Marvel Studios. So this is good enough for me, because, considering how Ike Perlmutter in real life is an asshole. Yeah. I hear he even keeps a gun, and sometimes threatens to shoot someone. I've heard that.
The best interactions take place around the dinner table.
Still
Yeah.
fits.
Still fits. I bet that was not Rachel Weisz acting. Pretty sure she was like, yeah, just act like yourself. Or maybe that wasn't the script. I don't know.
I never watched it once. Come and drink.
Alexei acts as if no time has passed, squeezing into his old Red Guardian uniform and sitting down to a meal with his family. Yelena also can't help but get nostalgic, while Nat is more skeptical about welcoming these people back into her life.
All right, enough. All of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
Here's what's gonna
I
happen.
don't want any food.
Eat a little something,
Hey.
Elaine.
As if this family wasn't unusual enough, Melina invites her pig to the table, almost calling WandaVision to mind. It's like something out of a surreal sitcom. For all the
I would say more recently, in spoilers for Loki, although Loki is my favorite so far of the Disney Plus shows. It's like they get better with each show. I mean, there's an alligator, Loki. Don't question it, just accept it. I accept it. So, yeah, treating a pig as if it was a dog. Or maybe that's a reference to Russia, because that's how you would usually call Russians pigs. That was back during the Cold War era, so yeah. Also interesting, it says in the beginning, this part of the story takes place in Ohio, 1995. GoldenEye came out in 1995, the James Bond movie. I have it on DVD here. And while Nat is in her trailer, she's watching Moonraker, which I've now realized the Moonraker, when she's watching Moonraker, it predicts that there's going to be a big spectacle scene. I mean, Moonraker is a guilty pleasure. It's not like top tier Bond, but it's like, it's guilty pleasure. I can't help myself. But obviously, Black Widow does it better than Moonraker. At least it's not in space. Although it's like, oh, I gotta stop myself from speaking.
laughs, the scene is anchored by themes of abandonment, surreal sitcom. For all the laughs, the scene is anchored by themes of abandonment and the meaning of family.
You're a coward. And our family was never real, so there's nothing to hold on to.
Florence Pugh did her best goddamn acting in that scene. It's so good. I'm so angry. I'm in a tizzy with the Oscars right now, but if Florence Pugh does not get nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars or the Golden Globes, I don't know if there's going to be Golden Globes, anything, I am still going to be boycotting the Academy. I will. I've been boycotting them ever since they chose to give the award to Anthony Hopkins instead of Chadwick Boseman. Don't get me wrong, I love Hopkins, but come on, Chadwick deserved that award, and you know it. No, leave my frustration with the Oscars for another day. Leave it for another day.
We're moving on.
Number 3. Romanoff Remembered.
Yeah.
It appears that post-credit scenes will remain a Marvel mainstay going into Phase 4.
And they will. I mean, I really enjoy the scene. The only problem is like just kind of the Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I was really excited, but it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, I've been avoiding anything about this movie, so as much as I could. So, yeah. I'm still waiting for Black Nerd's review. If Black Nerd does a video on Black Widow, I'll probably watch it, depending.
Sometime after Avengers Endgame, Yelena pays respect to her sister.
Also, Yelena got the dog. Like, she's like, Yelena was like, I wanted the dog. And then I thought of the dad that doesn't want a dog meme with the family thing. Alexei, we are not getting a dog. Family. See, Melina and Yelena gets dog anyway. Alexei and dog. Red Guardian and the dog. You will be Red Guardian Jr. I'm here all night. Alright, I'm not going away.
While it would have been nice to see Natasha's funeral, the items left at her grave and the inscription on the tombstone show just how much Nat will be missed by both of her families.
Yeah. It's a small but subtle. People keep complaining. And as much as I would have wanted to, I've seen Endgame like 20 times in the past year because pandemic. And when you think about it, that little scene after they return to 2023 and the five original Avengers remaining together, Tony's acceptance. Oh man, I forget. I do know there's 5 stages of grief, but I forget what the 5 stages of grief are. This is gonna attack me for the rest of my. If I don't search it now, and plus the video is long. It is 35 minutes long. Jesus. Oh, there's just some clickbait. I'm trying to avoid clickbait on something I'm not gonna discuss. The five stages of grief. All right, let me see. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. So, all right. So Tony is acceptance, Thor is denial, Hulk is anger because Hulk, or the Professor. Bargaining is Hawkeye, is Clint, obviously, and then depression. That's what I've heard, at least. I've heard that, but I think the small moment in Avengers Endgame where it's just them remembering her, like Tony's like, do we know if she had family? And then Steve is like, yeah, us. Kind of like Tony, like that one moment from Tony, and you kind of see Tony and Nat having that weird relationship is like, yeah, I trust you, but I don't trust. I like you, but I don't trust you. And then at the end is like him accepting. Is like, God, such a great movie. God, I love that. Oh man, man. And Thor's like, she's not dead. We can snap her back. And Hulk's like, and no, Clint is like, we can't get her back. No matter what we do, it can't be undone. And then I think that one little moment in Endgame is sort of like a memorial service for Nat. It is just between the five original Avengers. And this scene here at the end, which is a great post-credit scene until Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up, which makes me wish I could time travel into the future to watch Hawkeye. That's my only complaint with it, is I want to see more now. But yeah, let's go back. I think I said enough. Daughter, sister, Avenger.
We share Yelena's sentimentality as she reminisces about her sister. Unfortunately, the moment is interrupted by Selena Meyer. Sorry, Elaine Benes. Sorry, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, although Elaine is the role that Julia Louis-Dreyfus made, was that role that made Julia Louis-Dreyfus famous. So I only recognize Elaine.
You're not supposed to be bothering me on my holiday time, Valentina.
Oh, bothering you? Oh, no. I'm just here paying my respects.
Although previously
really.
seen in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this was supposed to be the Contessa's Marvel debut. Julia Louis-Dreyfus once again makes the most of her limited screen time, giving Yelena her next target, Clint Barton.
Thought I'd hand deliver it.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm wondering. I think I now know where Hawkeye's gonna go with this. They're gonna kill off Clint. Or, like, because I do know Valentina, from my limited research of her after yesterday, Valentine, Hold on. Tessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Because I think she was once a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, although a Hydra agent working within S.H.I.E.L.D. Leviathan. What do I know that from? The Leviathan Horde is a fictional Soviet-based terrorist organization. Is Leviathan? Oh, but Giannis. Giannis is also a reference. Is that a reference to GoldenEye? Hold on. Giannis Marvel Comics. Ah, Jesus. Damn it. Giannis Marvel Comics. Alright. Giannis is a fictional comic book character. Giannis Roman god. The two-faced in Roman mythology, Giannis was the god of doors, gates. Giannis, yeah, the two-faced Roman god. So that's interesting. Yeah. Also, because of GoldenEye, I thought of it. Tells you a lot about me. I spent way too much time.
Maybe you'd like a shot at the man responsible for your sister's death.
Number 2, Prison Break. To reach the Red Room, Nat and Yelena need to break out their father figure.
I really don't know where the Red Room is, though. I'm sorry.
I know. But I think I know somebody who does.
Oh, yeah? Who?
We're gonna need a jet.
Alexei Shostakov is the top dog in prison, beating every inmate who challenges him at arm wrestling. Nevertheless, Alexei realizes he's fallen far from grace, reflecting on his Red Guardian days and everything he could have been. When an escape crew comes knocking, Alexei sees his chance to make a comeback.
You made a scene, didn't you?
Being a human wrecking ball, though, he doesn't make the most discreet getaway. You could say that the breakout snowballs out of control, culminating with an avalanche heading towards the prison, and Nat snatching Alexei at the last second. The sequence contains some of the film's most impressive shots that are accentuated by the red and white color palette. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Sleep early.
Number 1, Red Room Removal. Dreykov seemingly has the upper hand during the climax, but Nat is never to be underestimated. Getting everything she needs, Nat severs Dreykov's control over her, and it isn't long until the other Black Widows are freed as well.
What are you going to do?
Oh, god damn. This movie hits harder than you could expect. And it was like some of the shots are like, Jesus, like there's like where Nat is changing clothes. It's not what you think it is. And you just see some of the bruises on her back.
Yelena finishes off Dreykov as the Red Room.
Yeah, I will though admit, the third act, it's the typical Marvel stuff I'm used to. I don't mind. But I feel like this is where the effects artists had to work remotely because, of course, COVID was happening. But it's like, you can tell, it's like, yeah, this does feel like the filmmakers had to work. I don't know, I feel like it's in the third act where, like, some of the green screen is very off, or some of the effects. But, hey, Corona, it's also, there's, like, even moments like that in the Snyder Cut of Justice League, where it's like, you can tell some of the effects are a little off, because, you know, like, most of the effects in the Snyder Cut are amazing. Except for a few notable scenes where it's like, okay, maybe that's a little off, but, who am I kidding? So yeah, it's like, yeah, mostly good, except for a few shots, but that's Marvel. It's like, hey, they blew their effects budget, alright?
room collapses, but she nearly gives up her life in the process. Thankfully, Nat saves Yelena in mid-air.
Haven't seen JJ Stars right there.
We can't help but wonder if Yelena's selfless act inspired Nat's sacrifice on Vormir in Endgame. In any case, Nat has one last loose end to tie up as Taskmaster butts in for a final showdown. For years, Nat blamed herself for what happened to Dreykov's daughter.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say God.
Although when you think of the message of like, when you think of that part there with Antonia, the Taskmaster, Antonia Dreykov, like practically being reassembled by her own father. That's goddamn, like killing a child. Oh man. Although I'm now remembering the opening of the movie again. Sorry.
He's gone.
In an ironic twist, though, Nat gives her a second chance at life.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo.
These are the next
and
two
be sure
videos.
to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
All right. So yeah, they brought up some of the best moments. You could have just shown the clips of Yelena, and I would have been all the more satisfied. But yeah, yeah, I agree. Now I'm remembering Ohio when they're in the opening of the movie. Now that I remember it, because they eventually Alexei infiltrates the Shield base, but I'm assuming a lot of them are Hydra agents, because that's the thing. Just history in the MCU is interesting. Like, Winter Soldier, in Captain America: Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes is responsible for the assassination of JFK instead of Lee Harvey Oswald. And in the MCU, Loki is DB Cooper. So I like how sometimes moments in the MCU kind of reflect on history. MCU real life history references. All right. Real world social problems. So Screen Rant has that. Racism in Black Panther. Obviously, because Killmonger's whole idea is to kind of help me. At a young age and endured years of racism without any familial supports. Yeah. Oh, mental health. No, that was not good. Jessica Jones. Oh, for the first season of Jessica Jones was good, but I've not seen any other seasons. Inequality in Spider-Man. That is true. That's a good one as well. Like, kind of showing the little guys getting screwed over by the big government corporations is an interesting. And Michael Keaton succeeded in that, and that's where Homecoming succeeded compared to Far From Home, which just kind of treats everything like a joke. I wasn't a huge fan of Propaganda and Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, that is true. About lying and stuff, kind of like the Hitler Youth. Yeah. Urge of Extinction. That is interesting because when you think about like the history of like the Kree for me are not very interesting though, but what they're doing, like with the brainwashing and all that, is an interesting. The Kree, they're like more emotionless than Vulcans. There, I said it. But thinking about how Carol was kind of manipulated into thinking that the Kree were good guys, and that the Skrulls were bad guys, and it's It's kind of like Hitler kind of saying all Jews are bad, kill them all. It's like, no, no, you are wrong. You are wrong, Hitler. So that's interesting to see there. The surveillance state in Captain America Winter Soldier, obviously. SHIELD is a government spy. Yeah, that was Hydra. When Black Widow leaks documents incriminating SHIELD to the public, their shadowing practice dissolves. The story arc closes parallels when Edward Snowden. I remember that! The Snowden eras. The Edward Snowden when he hacked into the NSA document. Leaked NSA documents to the media exposing another international organization for using surveillance systems close mirroring the NSA, Captain. And the thing that's interesting is the government is still doing the same goddamn thing, and it's like Edward Snowden is enemy of the state. What if he's okay? Fine. What Edward Snowden might have did was wrong, but he wanted people to know the truth. At least that's what I think. Abusive parenting, sex. No, that wasn't. But real world. Let's see. Hold on. MCU real life history references. But the most notable ones were like JFK or something. JFK and DB Cooper ones. Yeah, I veered off. So, I'm gonna end it here. I've got 5 more of these Black Widow videos to do, and then a Fear Street trailer. I'll leave a link to the original video down below, so as a link to my Instagram, and a link to Watch Mojo. I'd rather leave a link to them than to IGN. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about Black Widow. Did you love it? Did you hate it? We're on the fence. Don't know. Maybe I don't care. Alright, Godspeed, everyone. Take care.